welcome back. I'm Sonia. This week I am cooking at my kitchen 3 different dinners that are going to be under $5. I know right now, if you're like my family, our money is stretched super thin. Husband's gone through multiple pay cuts thanks to this pandemic, but I know we're going to hang in there. We're going to be all right. So you just got to be smart. And I know for different reasons in life, whether you just had a baby, maybe you have multiple kids in diapers, maybe you're retired, maybe something just happened medically, or using all your money for your, all your medicine. I get it. We've been there. We've done that. We've had lots of years that have been super lean around this house, but we always make it through. And I have a lot of great ideas that I just want to share with you because I know a lot of us are hurting right now. And in our family, that does not mean that we don't have to eat great, because I know we can all go out and buy hot dogs or ramen noodle soup. It's just, I mean, we can all do that, but I think that we need to try to focus on eating a little more healthy, and we just gotta be inventive. I know I thought I was inventive until I met my husband, and he is super inventive, and I think we just have a lot of great ideas that I'd like to bring with you. So we're gonna take you shopping this week, and then I'm gonna bring you back. Now, when I go shopping for a leaner grocery list, I do try to plan ahead. The only thing about it is that some stores, like where we're gonna go today, which is Winco, they have a lot of deals and they don't really have a flyer or anything. Winco is probably one of our cheapest ones around in the area. I know some of you are lucky enough to have like Aldi's or something else that's cheaper, or there's a lot of discount grocery stores across the United States, but Winco is ours. It's just like Aldi's. You gotta pack up your own groceries yourself, and they only take debit or cash there, or I think a check. Anyway, so you gotta have cash. And so I'm gonna show you some of the things that we went and found at Winco, and I got super lucky this week. Okay, so here we are at our Winco, and they always have like in ours a refrigerator of meat in the front with like all the things that were super cheap or on sale, and I was lucky to see my turkey right away. And I'm just going to show you some of the things I bought and the prices. I ended up getting one little thing of green onions, and oh my gosh, you guys, they had chicken breast for $1.48 a pound. I didn't use it in this video, but I did get like 3 of them to put into my freezer. And then I did end up getting some chicken broth, which their brand was actually really shopped out, but I eventually found it, and I only needed 1 container. So I picked up my 1 container of chicken broth, and it was fat-free. You could even use chicken bouillon or whatever if you needed to. And here's a soup base that you're only going to need about 2 tablespoons of it. I actually used chicken bouillon just because I had it already in my fridge, so I didn't actually have to pay for it. And this one has MSG, which I try to avoid, but most people doesn't bother them. So you could just buy some cheap chicken base if you wanted to. And then I picked up 2 cans of ranch style beans for 88 cents a piece. And I ended up getting 4 boxes of corn mix, I believe. And here is, sorry about this, this is on my iPhone, it's not the best one. It is a chicken breast, and I did end up getting some. And then our cheese that we're going to need, got 1 package, it was $1.98. Next time I'll use my husband's phone, I think it's better. Sorry about that, guys, moving around a lot. And here is long grain rice, because you're going to need actually 2 cups of that, and you're going to need some tomato sauce, 1 little container, which was 28 cents. I think I'll show you the bigger container too, because at first I was like, I don't know how much I'm going to make, and then I was like, no, I'm just going to make enough for like 4 to 6 people, which actually ended up being like 8 people serving. Peas and carrots we're going to need 1 bag of. I know vegetables have kind of gone up in price lately, but they are what they are. And then as an option, if you want to, I'll show you what we're going to do with these. You could get 1 can of jalapenos, and we're going to need 1 cup of milk. I already had some. I just wanted to show you like a price of like if you only wanted to buy a little. I'm sorry, this is upside down, but these were 68 cents a pound for chicken thighs, and I ended up getting obviously a package of that. And then I got 1 bag of red potatoes. They had different prices. I actually probably, if you could have bought them individually, I probably only needed like 2.5 pounds, but that's what I got. Okay, so I'm bringing you 3 meals, and if you guys would love this series, I would love to keep doing it with you. And I'd love to take my husband maybe to Costco. If you would love that, I would love to share with you. Because I know Costco, if you're like me, you see like these gigantic things of meat, and they're $25, $30. And then you're like, what would I do with all that? But like recently I was there, they had pork butt like super, super cheap. And I'm looking at it going, well, it's $24, but it's gigantic. What would I cook with all that? So I text my husband, he immediately texts me back like 10 dinner ideas. And I'm like, yes, let's get that. I think we gotta be inventive. And I think, and let me tell you, a chef has more ideas than anybody. And I love going shopping with him. And let me tell you, he's probably one of the most fun people to go grocery shopping with. He actually went with me to Winco, but we were so tired at night. We only just have like prices and stuff like that. Okay, but this week I am bringing you and we're gonna call it a chili, turkey chili. And I do chili like this, because my husband says it's not real chili. And I'm from Texas and it has beans in it. I remember when we had, what's the name of that show with Sheldon? He was like, no, that's not chili because it has beans in it. I'm from Texas. You guys remember that episode? Because it's not chili. And so I'm gonna do chili like this, but it's a mock chili and it's lean. We're gonna do turkey. Well, I'll show you everything we got. And it's gonna be leaner, because I also think when we're lower on money, sometimes we trade that out with, you know, foods that are not healthy. And we're, okay, I'm all about the health. I may not always show that in every episode with you guys, but I am about the health overall. So we're gonna have one like turkey chili, and then I'm gonna bring you my version. It's a little healthier and maybe not as spicy as some, but I'm gonna bring you Arroz Con Pollo, okay? And the way I cut it is by not adding quite as many things to it to make it under $5. But it actually probably would feed you probably 2 times over for a family of 4. So when you figure this out, by the way, it's $1.25 a meal, if you haven't figured that out. Okay, and then I'm gonna be bringing you one of my son's favorite soups, and it is based upon, it's like a loaded potato soup, kind of. It's a potato soup, but it's made with red potatoes, and it's not as loaded as I want. If you wanna add the bacon, that would be, you know, more money, obviously. But you could, if you could find a deal. I think it's all about the deals, right? Okay, because we're trying to stick to $5. And I did assume in this video that you have salt, pepper at your house. And I think I needed 1 tablespoon of flour that I didn't include, which, by the way, at a Winco or Sprouts or any of those places that you can go now back to bulk. They stopped bulk during the pandemic for a while, but you know, the bulks are back open. You could just buy that, or the chicken bouillon. I show some of the things, and I'll put the prices of how I figured it down there. And if you like this, remember, give it a thumbs up so I know that you enjoyed it. And I think it would also be fun to do like breakfasts for, you know, super cheap. My husband actually found, and I'll get to it, I know you're probably like, Sony, get on with it. He found like some steel cut oats, and we figured out it's like 5 cents a serving. I don't know. Steel cut oats are so much better than regular oatmeal. Regular oatmeal to me is like, I don't know. It's like someone took oatmeal, like something, chewed it up, spit it back out, and there it is. It's like sloppy. It's like, oh, just regular oatmeal. So texture is bad, but steel cut oatmeal, that's something different. It's delicious. And my husband's recipe is so good. And he's been busy. That's why he hasn't been with us, but he needs to get back in here and share some of his great recipes. Okay, I'm gonna stop blabbering and let's get going. The first night tonight, I am cooking you my simple Arroz Con Pollo. And again, this is simple and it's cheap. So if this is not how your mother made it, then I understand. No offense, but this is easy and it tastes good. And the thing that I don't like about Arroz Con Pollo when I eat out, if it's all mushy. I don't like mushy Spanish rice. Don't overcook it. Okay, let's get going. Okay, I want to show you. It's $3.67 and it's, how many is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm gonna actually break this in half because I think that would be too much chicken. So it actually is gonna cost like half that. And I'm gonna do something else with the other half. I'm not sure yet. Okay, you're gonna turn your fire on a medium heat and take some oil, canola oil, whatever you want, vegetable oil, olive oil. Put a little bit in your pan, and then you are going to put salt and pepper on those thighs, and we are just gonna kind of brown off both sides of our chicken thighs. We're not gonna cook them all the way, but we're gonna cook them like a little bit more than half. And then while those are cooking, we are going to need a half a cup of an onion, and you are just going to dice it up. And you also want to make sure that you get your white rice ready because you're going to need that when we start putting this all together, it's going to go actually pretty fast. So you want to make sure you have all your ingredients together. So you just have your 1/2 cup of onion. And then you're going to need your tomato sauce. You're going to need 8 ounces of tomato sauce. Then, okay, and once they start getting a little bit of golden brown on the thighs, I'd say about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on your heat and your pan, everything else. You're just going to flip them over. They start turning golden color. It's time to flip them. And then at this point, we are going to actually put our lid on to our chicken. And then about one more thing. Our peas and carrots is frozen. You want to go ahead and get them out and put them on your counter so that they can start de-thawing just a little bit. Okay, so now it's been about 10 minutes. We're taking them off. They are nice and golden brown on both sides. And we're just going to actually take them out of our pot because we're going to stir in the rice and then we're going to add them back in. Now at this point, I would highly suggest you cut rid of majority of this oil or all of it. Either way, I just used some paper towels, soaked it up, and left a little bit of oil on the bottom to put in my rice. We are going to add in 2 cups of white rice, or you could have just taken all the oil out and just added like a tablespoon or 2. We are making basically like a Spanish rice, so we have to toast our rice and get it. That's what gives it the Spanish flavoring. So we're going to take it. I just left it in with the little bits left over and the little bit of oil that was left. I just took majority of it out. And you want at this point to move around your rice in your pan. Do not leave it in one area or it's going to toast on one side, not the other. You can stop for a second or 2, but you got to keep an eye on this and you can't just leave it alone. This part is important that you actually kind of move it around when it's starting to toast and you're going to actually smell it. It tastes different. It smells different. It's going to have like a toasty smell to it. I was here by myself that night, so I was trying to show you to show you what it is actually going to look like, the toasted color, so you know, hey, it's ready. It is time to move on to the next step. And there it is. That's what it's going to look like. Just kind of like a toasted brown color, but not too far. Don't go too far, but you need to make sure you get the toasted part. Okay, now we're taking that 1/2 cup of onions that we had pre-cut and we are going to throw it into the pot. You like that? It's bad camera. Sorry. Doing it myself that night and I had it on my tripod. So then I'm going to put it into the pot and at this point you're just going to cook it a little bit more. You want to keep it moving because remember our rice is still toasting and you just want to get it to the point just like a minute or 2 until your onion's a little bit more cooked and it's becoming a little bit more translucent. This is just like making Spanish rice almost. We're just adding in a few extra parts. Okay, so now that it's becoming translucent, it's gonna go a little faster. That tomato sauce, you're gonna pour it in and move it all around just so it is coated and everything is coated. Then you're gonna grab some water and you are going to need 4.5 cups of water. After you get in your 4.5 cups of water, this is where your chicken bouillon, your chicken base, whatever you have around your house or whatever you bought, that is what we are going to put in next. I had chicken bouillon, so that's what I use. If you have a low sodium diet, you would just eliminate this part. Tastes better with it, but you would be fine without it, okay? So now you're gonna bring it back to a simmer, just a light simmer, and when you get to the simmering part, then you are going to add in your chicken. Wait till it simmers first. Then you're gonna add in your chicken, and then you are going to put your top back on and set a timer for 5 minutes. Okay, it's been 5 minutes. We're coming back, and mine was really rolling well by then. So you want to make sure that you stir it all around and kind of move the rice off the bottom so it doesn't get stuck to the bottom. And at that point, turn it down just to drop because it was a little bit rolling boil too far. We put it on a timer for 5 more minutes. We're back from our 5 minutes. And now you can really tell that we are getting towards the end of cooking this. And we're going to take that bag of peas and carrots, and I put in about 3/4 a bag. Maybe next time I would have put in half. It's quite a bit. I liked it that way. My kids were like, that's a lot of vegetables. but okay, it's fine. So you're just going to move it all the way through, and then you're going to put your top on back for maybe, I don't know, just a minute or two, just so they can heat up, and then you're ready to plate. So here it is all plated up, a piece of thigh meat on top and our rice on the bottom. And you guys, it tasted so good. My husband, when he did come home, he had a little more heat to his. So if you wanted to add a little heat, you could. In general, they're usually, fairly plain when you eat it out in a restaurant. But it was really good, and all my family really enjoyed it. So there you go, Arroz Con Pollo. Okay, y'all, we're back for night 2, and tonight I'm bringing you turkey chili. I remember the name of the show, Big Bang Theory. Have you guys seen the episode of Sheldon, the whole chili thing? Anyways, my husband says, it's not chili, it has beans in it. I think chili has beans. Anyways, I'm also bringing you cornbread to go with it. And you could make it either sweet or like savory. I'm gonna make it savory with jalapeno and cheddar. And I'll probably make some for my daughter who needs it normal because you can't add things to it. It would go against her. So we're just gonna make it sweet. And I know some people don't like sweet cornbread. I'm not one of those people. I enjoy sweet cornbread. That's all there is. I don't like any other kind of cornbread, and I like a yellow cornbread. And remember, if you made too much cornbread this month, I would tell you to freeze it, put it in your freezer, and you're ready for your cornbread stuffing for next month for Thanksgiving. So, because I don't know if you guys like cornbread stuffing for Thanksgiving, but I do. I'm from the South. We need cornbread stuffing. Okay, so let's get going. Okay, let's get started. Okay, you're going to start out by spraying down some baking dishes. About an 8x8 would do fine. I just used our Jiffy mix. So it's Jiffy mix, 1 egg, and 1/3 cup of milk. I normally don't measure the sugar that I put in this one, but for you guys, hey, I'm measuring it out. And when I did it, I think I probably do about 3 tablespoons full. You could omit this part if you don't want it sweet, or you could add more, you could add less. I mean, you could just give it a try and see how you like it. And then we're just going to mix it up, and then we are going to just pour it in our baking dish. Now, I couldn't remember because I hadn't made cornbread in a while in this baking dish of how many I would need, and I was like, oh, this might be too thin. In retrospect, it might have been enough, but I wasn't sure, so I made 1 more box and poured it in. And you could make cornbread from scratch, but the Jiffy is pretty good. If you guys haven't tried it, give it a try. They always have it at the stores this time of year. I think probably year round. So there you go. There's our sweet cornbread. Then for the second one, we bought the cheese for our soup, but we are also using it here for our cornbread. And we are going to use a 1/2 cup of that cheese. We're also going to use jalapeno peppers. Those are the ones, is a 1/4 cup of jalapeno peppers I had in the fridge. You could use whatever kind you had. They're just pickled jalapenos. And then we are going to just chop them up finely. You don't want to have gigantic pieces because you want to have a big piece of jalapeno. This is going to make it, and it doesn't make it hot. If you had the pickled jalapenos, they're not hot. They just add like a little zing, especially to our cornbread. If you haven't tried jalapeno cornbread, try it. It is so good. I was showing you my knife. I got that on Prime Day. I got knives and shirts, all kinds of stuff. I'll review them later after I use them for a while. Okay, so in this one, I decided to go with 2 boxes ahead of time because I knew that's what I need. I did 1/2 cup of cheese, and then that 1/4 cup, I'm going to show you. I did 1/3, since it doubles, 2/3 cup of milk. And then I'm going to be putting in my 2 eggs. And then I'm going to lastly take those jalapenos that I cut up and throw them into my batter. I do want to let you know, when you add in the sugar on the sugar one, it is going to look a little bit more brown because it has sugar when you're baking it. Don't panic. It's still going to be fine. But I just want you to know that. So if you haven't added sugar into your cornbread, you also could use honey if you wanted to. Or I guess you could probably give it a try with a sweetener. I'm not sure. I haven't baked with it, but I have done it with honey before. I want to let you know, and it tasted fantastic. We usually serve it with honey and butter. They are both really good. Okay, so I'm taking it and I'm going to just put it in to my pan. These are like old pans I've had since probably somebody gave it to me when I got married. I don't know, there's those old Pyrex ones. Anyways, they're super versatile. So I just poured it into my pan, and then we want to make sure that while you're doing this, I should have told you ahead of time, you need to preheat your oven. It needs to be at 400 degrees. Now, the directions tell you for 18 minutes, and I will show you that I put it on for 18 minutes, and then we are going to have to come back and do about another 18, which, by the way, you also could do cornbread muffins instead of making them into one pan, or if you just thought, if you have a cute cornbread muffin holder, you're making them for Thanksgiving and you want to, make them in something fancy, by all means, give it a go. Okay, and now we are going to, while those are baking, get started on our chili. Here is our lean ground turkey, and we are just going to put it into our pan and turn on the heat to about like a medium heat and just get it all nice and browned off. And I want to let you know, and we're going to have to add some salt and pepper. I want to let you know that this chili is so good and it's so easy. Like, you could probably make this whole meal in less than 15-20 minutes. And that's what I'm about during the school year, especially during the week. I need something super fast. I don't have time to be spending it in my kitchen. And right now we also want to try to obviously be eating something healthy. I'm all about the health, especially before the holidays, because I know I'll probably indulge in certain things during the holidays, because who doesn't enjoy good food? Okay, so now we're going to get it all nice and browned off. And then this is what we're going to do to it. We are going to take our ranch style beans and we are going to add in 2 cans of it. The ranch style beans used to, I think, only be available in the South, but thanks to Walmart and other things, they are now available everywhere. And if you haven't tried ranch style beans, you guys need to try it. They are like the best. They taste so good. And that's it. That's all you do. You combine them together. And if you want to add more heat, you could. And this is why I said it's a mock chili, okay? But it tastes good. I really think you guys should give it a try. And with the cornbread, oh, your family is going to absolutely love this. And I want to also let you know on the cornbread, about halfway through when we did 18, and about halfway through, I did turn the temperature down because with the sugar in it, just like I told you, you started to get super dark and it wasn't done. And so you need to bring down the temperature to about 400. So here it is all together. I put a little bit, remember those scallions, the onions I bought, I cut them up, put them on top, put a little bit of our leftover cheese.
Okay, y'all, we just finished eating dinner. That turkey chili was so good. And the jalapeno cornbread, I ate the jalapeno cornbread. It was so good. And my kids really loved it. My daughter had the plain cornbread, of course. They really love it. Tomorrow's gonna be a super busy day. So I'm actually gonna make this 3rd meal ahead of time. I'm gonna link all of the recipes underneath. The first 2 are mine. And this last one's actually cheesy potato soup from myrecipes.com. I've made it a million times. It's one of my son's favorite soups that I make in the winter for him. I think he loves a lot of my food. But anyways, this is one. And I love my recipes. If you don't know, it actually has all their nutritional values on all of their recipes as part of Cooking Light. Cooking Light, my recipes owns Cooking Light. Anyway, so if you hit it on the thing, it pops up. This one is only 225 calories a bowl, even though it is potatoes. So that's really good. And the other good thing I love about my recipes, if you only have like a few things left in your refrigerator or on your shelves in your pantry and you want to get rid of it, you're on a tight budget, you don't know what to cook, they actually have a thing in here that you can search by your ingredients. And then it will spit out like recipes that have those ingredients. Or if you were at the store and you found something on sale but then you didn't know what to do with it, that's another great thing that you could do. So yeah, you guys should check it out. I think it's really cool, especially if you're at the store and you just, I don't know, there's something on sale that you wanted, but you don't know what to do with it. Anyways, try it, look into it, you'll love it. And I will just link everything underneath. Okay, let's get going into the soup. I know you're gonna love it.
Okay, I just wanted to show you that I only use about half of the bag of red potatoes. You need about 1 pound, which is 3 cups chopped. I'd already also chopped up a onion. You're gonna need 1 tablespoon of butter, and the onion you need 1 cup chopped. And again, I'll put a link to this recipe underneath the video. Just make sure you hit the little triangle button. You can do a description and it'll be right there. You're gonna cook the onions until they get a little bit translucent, and then we're gonna add in 2 tablespoons of flour. Now at this part, you need to stir it and actually cook your flour a little bit, because if not, it will not taste correctly, and this is what is going to actually thicken our soup. Then you're gonna add your 3 cups of red potatoes, and then you are going to add 1 1/4 cups. The recipe says low-fat milk. I used skim milk and it was just fine. Then you're going to use 3/4 cups of fat-free chicken broth, and if you wanted to, you could even use a lower sodium one if you wanted to. And you're also going to add in a 1/2 cup of water. You are going to bring this to like a simmer, and then you are going to place your top of your pot on and let it cook for just actually only about 10 minutes, and it's gonna thicken up. You wanna make sure you also add in some salt and pepper, and you could use white pepper if you had it. It might make it a little bit better looking, it doesn't really matter. And then you're gonna add a 1/2 cup of cheese. You could also, if you could find the lower fat cheese, that would be probably a little better. If you want to, it's optional, 1/8 teaspoon of ground red pepper. Or if you want to, you can add some Tabasco sauce or Cholula, whatever you had sitting around, just to add a little bit to it. That would also make it taste great. And here it is, served it with our chives also on top with a little bit of cheese that I had left, and put it in a bowl, and it is really, really good. I hope you guys give this a try, and make sure you tune in next week where I'm bringing you some more fall ideas. I'm going to be bringing another dish for our crock pot, a really good drink for fall, and an air fryer dessert that you're not going to want to miss. So make sure that you tune in next week, and thank you guys for watching. See you next week.